Hello and welcome to the next instalment of the Brisbane Golf Club's video blog. My name is Brett Morris, Golf Course Superintendent. Today I thought we'd do something a little bit different and do a behind the scenes look at what's involved in maintaining your golf course. We are inside of our maintenance shed behind the fourth tee. Inside the shed here is our main sort of workshop and storage centre. And it's important to note that as we look around the shed that every piece of equipment that's used on a golf course has a specific purpose. So if we take a look at some of the units through here, for instance, to give you some idea, when we need to aerify, and aerifying is important to relieve compaction, to improve infiltration, to improve the oxygen levels within the soil, and it all helps the health of the turf. If we look at our aerifying machines, and again thinking of the purpose that every piece of equipment has a specific need and requirement, we currently use 3 aerators at the club. So we have a large unit for fairways. We're able to get across our fairways in around a day and a half with this now, so it's a wonderful piece of gear. The important thing now with all aerators on the market and the work that's gone into these in development and things like that is the lack of disruption for golfers out on the golf course. So with that unit there, we're able to aerify and not have any real complaints about seeing where we've been or disrupting the lie of the golf ball. We need to do work on the greens. We use 2 units. We use this one here. It's called a Procore 648. This unit here is able to aerify all of our greens in less than 1 day. So we do that quite regularly, again, with very little disruption on the surface. And we normally go out every sort of 4 to 6 weeks with a solid tine and go over the greens. And again, this helps the turf grass growth. We need to go a little bit deeper than we use the unit behind here. It's called our Verti Drain, and again we will use this over the greens at least once per year, if not twice. And during this piece of equipment it's very important for us because it enables us to go down quite deep through the whole profile of the green, down to depths of 10 or 12 inches. Okay, looking behind us now, other specific bits of gear. We use greens rollers. These help sort of smooth the surface and increase bore roll speed. We also have some walk behind mowers here. There's specific units for raking your bunkers behind there, the Sand Pro. Being a large fleet of gear, we have a full-time mechanic, and our mechanic Gary Kelly's been with us now for about 6 years. So Gary's currently servicing our ride-on greens mower at the present time. This again is a very specific unit which is used on golf courses and very expensive. A lot of this equipment is quite expensive to purchase. And that unit there, greens mowers are between $45,000 to $50,000. So it's important that they're kept in good working condition, and Gary certainly does that. Well, and very precise, and we need to be precise when we apply turf care products such as chemicals and to the golf course, because we need to make sure that what we're applying is being applied correctly to treat whatever condition that we're treating. Our specific unit here that we use on the golf course, the Multi Pro, when we set this out with a few different sets of nozzles. This particular nozzle on top here is known as an air induction nozzle. So when the product flows through into the chamber in here, it's mixed with air bubbles, which creates a larger droplet which is slightly heavier, and when it hits the ground it bursts and creates a nice even coverage. We also use other specific nozzles such as the flood jets if we need to apply a product with a very high water volume to move it into the soil. So a lot of advancements again as far as the products themselves, but the actual equipment to apply them with have been made over recent years, and they're only getting better now with a lot of new products and equipment specifically coming out with things like GPS controls on them to ensure that everything is precise, evenly applied, and there's no overlapping or misses out there on the golf course. Across from the main shed in our lean-to, it's again another storage centre for certain bits of equipment, predominantly tractors, but also some more specific items. We have a couple of top dressers that we use on the course here, a smaller one for greens and tees, and our large unit behind the hoses there, which we use for fairway use. Following the flood, the club's worked very hard in its disaster management plan to come up with ways to try and minimise any sort of negative effect that should a flood like that happen again. And one part that we've been working on is storing everything on pallets up high. The club has also bought a forklift, and that enables us to evacuate items very quickly in the event of another sort of flooding event which occurred in January of last year. Another aspect is plant nutrition, so the use of fertilisers out here on the golf course can vary greatly from season to season. We use a variety of different fertilisers based, as I said, not only on season but also how much moisture is in the soil or what the temperatures of the soil are, etc. So throughout the year we'll use a variety of different sort of fertilisers, some based on different release mechanisms, some based on release in the soil via the slowing of microbes and how they actually break the fertiliser down for plant use. So everything that we apply out there is based around primarily weather, what sort of effect we want out of that response and the timing. Do we want a quick response following renovations? Do we want a prolonged response? So a lot of factors are taken into consideration with just a simple selection of fertiliser as well. So inside our new demountables behind the shed here is where it's housed for myself and the Assistant Superintendent Ray Lawrence. Also in here we have one of our most important pieces of infrastructure, I guess, as far as the golf course goes, and that's our irrigation central computer. Here we can control every head on the golf course individually, and we're able to control that with very precise means. We're able to keep track of the weather. It's updated by the minute by our own on-site weather station. And in doing so, it really enables us to manage our water resources very importantly, because water is becoming a very important topic in golf courses and sporting fields all around the world. So by having a unit such as this, which we're able to control very precisely the water use on the golf course, we're able then to maximise our turf health while at the same time minimise our operating costs because we're not having to waste water by running pumps for very long. Here we are at the golf course maintenance chemical storage. We always try to maintain as very little amount of stock on hand as possible. Essentially what we're aiming for is a very healthy golf course which doesn't really require a great deal of chemical use. Because chemicals today on golf courses right around Australia and throughout the world are very tightly monitored with the products that go out, how they're applied, specific sort of requirements in their application, most importantly for your safety. So everything in here is very tightly controlled, but that's not to say that the amount of advancements that have been made in technology throughout the years as far as chemical approaches to golf courses have really improved significantly. For instance, we have a particular product that we use on the shelf here, which is now completely safe for you, the golfer, for us to apply, safe for the environment, and gives us up to 6 months control of specific pests. So a lot of great advancements have been made in that sense, and there's more to come in the upcoming year or two.